Hey everyone, this is the big LEGO police set, LEGO City Police set for the first season of 2024. It's the Police Prison Island. Now this has 980 pieces. I did build it live over on my Twitch channel, and it cost me $100 US. The set comes with 7 minifigures plus 2 animals, 2 boats, and a helicopter. One of the boats is the simplest powered rubber dinghy, which is significant only in that it is the second generation version of this mold, and it's in teal. The police patrol boat, meanwhile, is actually really nice. I personally generally don't like rigid hull inflatable boats, though some of them can be high performance and kind of cool in how they're used and everything, but this goes together nicely. I mean, it's fully closed up at the front. I like the lines of it. It's nice and low profile. I feel like it uses the right amount of that highlighter yellow, that vibrant yellow color there. You got the 2 outboards here. This does actually float as well as the small dinghy does. I don't know if these are supposed to represent, I think water jets is what they look like. Water jet outboards is kind of what they feel like. You got space to put 1 figure right there, and 2 if they're standing up, and underneath here, it's actually a little spot where you can get your fingernail under more easily towards the front. It does connect a little bit too hard, but you can put 2 figures in here as well, sitting down. They're just a little bit tight in quarters, but generally, I mean, this thing is actually quite nice for what it is and how simple its build is. The helicopter, meanwhile, is very meh to me. I feel like I've seen lots and lots of this exact same helicopter, all the ones that use the same piece for the canopy. You open that up, you got your control sticks there. They just all feel the same to me, unless it's giving a completely different design to the general shaping of it. They tried to go for something different here. They tried, with the shaping here, a little extra detail for the engines, but it's just a basic city helicopter. With that stuff out of the way, we can focus on the main things, the main build, and then getting into the figures after that. This has a nice level of detail just around the front, and the build felt good. It felt like things went together at a very nice pace, but they're a little bit more elevated in design than they need to be for the younger market. I think this could have been designed simpler, and it still would have been just a fine toy, but I appreciate the extra effort that went into the design and the extra pieces and everything. So you can see, as usual, this is open around the back. This area over here is actually a yard. We'll look at all the details here, but I just wanted to give you a general lay of the land. You're fully covered up on this side, possible escape route right there. Let's look in a little bit closer. There are some so-called big ugly rock pieces used in this, and a medium one as well, but they're fairly covered. They don't have too many of the ugly open studs visible. The staircase right here, it's just chiseled into stone and probably broken down over time, but this went together so fast. But for a sideways build of stairs, it's actually pretty nice. Actually, it's got some interesting shaping to it. You've got some thickness down here, almost a Mills style, with the walkway out here, kind of the boardwalk, the pier adds a little bit of extra strength to it as well, so you can move this around. You can also separate this out into 2 parts. I'll show you how that works in a minute. Just a little bit of suggestion of the water around, which I feel is enough suggestion for you to allow your imagination to take things the rest of the way. Decorations in this are mostly with stickers, and I'll show you what the sticker sheet looks like. I think that the colors here are pretty nice. Got a little bit of the swamp police kind of feel with the darker blue, which is nice to see, and then also plenty of the medium nougat color. You'll see some stickers used for some detail as well, some texturing. Got the sliding door here, just one single major cell unit. That feels a little bit for an entire island to just have basically one lockup, one single lockup feels a little bit odd to me. You've got the staircase up here to take you up to the helipad, and this can be rotated around so it doesn't have to be straight on. It just kind of takes it off grid in a very simple and easy way, and it's got enough space to put the helicopter. It's best if you put it this way, but you can also simply land it that way. It's just enough for employees to get off there, and then they can kind of hop into the office through this open window over here. Here's where you see one of those stickers that I briefly mentioned. There's another one on the side of the main entrance. Now this entrance looks way too nice for the setting here, but that's fine. It looks like it's actually in a city, but these stickers provide a little bit of extra suggestion of texture, but they are completely optional. The color match from the nougat to nougat is not the best, but it's not terrible. This is the most interesting thing to me in this set and in this series. It's not exclusive to this set, but the inclusion of the new mold for chain link fencing, which is something that I feel I personally have wanted desperately for a very, 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 very long time. I wish it was a little bit lighter in weight Given that it does require the use of these 1x4x6 door frames to fit it there, it's a little bit on the soft side. It's not the hardest plastic, but it works. That's a dark silver color. These are the Mario vines from the Super Mario theme. They're kind of rubbery and they're just recolored to a nice metallic silver there to give you the razor wire suggestion. More of these over here on the side. We'll see what this is all about, but I think the only thing that I didn't show you from this side, I wanted to show you the whole front first, is just going up farther. Interestingly, this is open. There's no window pane in there, so you could jump from there. I don't recommend it though. And then up top, you've got the lookout tower with a couple of searchlights which can be moved around, and you have to use your imagination a little bit there. I can't imagine the light actually getting down to the shore right here, but again, just use your imagination a little bit, and then a little bit of transceiver dish spot here, which does not turn. Sorry about that. Turning this around though, here you can see the interior detail. So they've just got one single sticker used to represent one single camera that's looking at the yard, and this can spin around. So you have plenty of space here. And the fact that there's no window here or here just makes it a lot easier for you to get your fingers in there and to place a figure there, and possibly even have a figure standing on either side as well if you want to have kind of a manager intervention sort of thing. But notice there's a donut off to one side there and a mouse on the other side. Here's the break room. Okay, it's once again small. Once again, you can jump off of these, but ultimately it's for our access as huge figures to be able to get the minifigures into the space here. A nice, very compact build for a coffee maker. Too bad there's no fridge or something. I would love to see something like that to have a suggestion of storage food. Where's the food actually coming from? And is that just a small potted plant, or is that supposed to be a food item? I think it's just a small potted plant. You don't have a whole lot in the way of, anything else, office or anything else for the CEOs and such. So you just kind of got a little lobby here. You got the wanted poster and a couple of handcuffs on the side. And if you look past that and get enough light to go back there, you can see a bulletin board is up. Just a sticker, but it's really hard to see once it's done. To the left is the yard, and there's the security camera that was looking over at the basketball hoop. There's the basketball itself, which is a Technic piece here so that it doesn't roll away, and you can actually attach it to the ground. And this is a good little spot to, accidentally find an old escape route in the form of this. You just pull that up, and that's access to the pipe. So that will take you right out to the sea. And the idea is that you'd have somebody there waiting for you. So if I put somebody down, see, they come right out. It's very smooth. It's connected nicely. Some nice little techniques used in there. Very consistent, never gets stuck, can go either direction. Yeah, that's good. And then looking at the lower level, this is a basement space. It has a little bit of detail, a bunch of boxes. This is a spray can, the frog reference that they always like to do. More boxes back there, and obviously this is the laundry room. Spilling just a little bit. A lot of open space down there, and once again another big sticker used for some extra detail there. You can see what the spray can was used for. But access to this space is not that great. You're not going to get figures way back in there, and they don't have easy access to pulling the upper level off to get through there. So you're mostly just going to be using the front, I'd say 4 studs in here. And then next to that, let's come back to this. Let's go upstairs just for a second. Cross across. All right, here's the yard. Here's the lobby space. After that, what? This is the spot for the dog. The dog lives there, and this little window here allows the dog to come through. Supposedly, that's the dog bed and the bone. It's a little bit awkward, but it does work. It is a use of the space, I suppose. And then here's your main lockup, your one and only lockup, which once again uses some stickers for some detail inside. Those look pretty nice, and the bunk beds are done really nicely. Minimum number of pieces. They don't take up a lot of space, and they give you plenty of access. They don't have any studs on them. You would have to mod that to help the figures to stay in place, but you can just lay them there, and then you can fold this up for easier access down below, and then you can fold this up for easier access to what's all the way down below. Before we get to that though, there is a toilet. One more sticker used on the side there for a little extra details. Some extra toilet paper as well, and I guess you could use the the mug for drinking, but you can also use it to smuggle out dirt and concrete and other things that you might be chipping away at from the space as you figure out your exit plan, which you have drawn on the as a criminal, which you've drawn on the underside of the lower bunk. All right, now it is time. Now it's time to come down here. And you can see that there used to be a mining facility on this island, and it was completely forgotten about. There's even dynamite here. You could use that to blow up a wall or something. There's a whole minecart track under here. Is this Minecraft or what? A very simple build for that thing, but it works, and the idea is that you would hop in that and then bust through the vines that have disguised the old entrance or exit, and then you're just right out there in the sea. And then hopefully, either as a criminal, you will either float away in this, which I think this actually would float for a little bit in real life, or you just get picked up by somebody who's out there waiting for you. There's even a crystal here, so you might want to take that with you and start your new life off the back of the proceeds from selling it. Now, there's one additional thing that you can do to change up how you play with this, and that is to split it down the middle. It just simply pulls apart. Doesn't use just Technic pins, it uses some axles as well. That does not give you any additional access, unfortunately, from the sides or anything. So it doesn't make it easier to use, but it does allow you to think about doing things like this, put it into a corner, or try to stack it up this way. It doesn't really help all that much, but if you put things this way, you can start to imagine this being closed up. You can start to imagine this being just a single thing, and it is kind of arranged in a semi-sensible way, with the yard and lockup being together. So I think you can make this work. I'm surprised that they didn't do more in the set to make that an official option. Something that actually gives you a couple of connection points here, because it is feasible, and it does give you a decent look it gives you a good look for the most part from 3 different angles instead of just one. It's, closed up as long as you line it up right. And it's just this one side then that becomes very camera unfriendly, mostly because of just a couple of color choices and some of the axle pieces sticking out. This set has a standard light gray colored shark with the mouth that can open and close, just the normal size. And this is a new mold for a lab. I'm assuming it's supposed to be a chocolate lab there. It's dual molded with the harness or the vest built into it, and then that's printed on the sides. Interesting choice here. Rather than coming up with a new piece that just fits on the top of it, this is actually its own separate mold. Here are a few of the figures. I'm assuming warden type person, the boat driver, and the helicopter pilot. So they all have different torsos. That's nice to see here. But, the dark blue is really what ties them together. I like the high-vis vest there and the additional inclusion of the personal flotation device. There's what the print looks like underneath there on the front. It's just a little bit lacking. I wish there was a little bit better definition of shadow in these pockets. However, I was worried about safety for this person on this really fast boat with, no headgear, no head protection. Well, they got you covered. They do include this, right? So that's good. I always appreciate when they have an additional headgear piece, but they've done it again over here. No alternate face to be seen here. No alternate face to be seen here either, but check this out. They give you a hairpiece for her. That's what you're supposed to do, Lego. Yes, thank you. I'm okay with leaving this guy just like that. He can keep his hat on, but with the helmeted figures, yes, including hair pieces for both is correct. It's the right thing to do. It's what I expect to see. It's what I like to see. Here are 2 of the prisoner figures. They have identical prints for their torsos. Those are new for this season. They're modeling. The other 2 pairs of handcuffs, like this hairpiece right here. And, these are pretty distinct. I think that they stand out pretty well. I think that there's a good strength of character, visual character to them. At least one of them has an alternate face. And then here are the other 2. Yeah, 4 prisoners in this and 2 bunk beds. The idea is that one of them would be operating at least one of them would be operating the getaway boat or something like that. And this one over here has a spoon, which again would be used for digging, right? For obvious reasons. What else would you use a spoon for? One of these at least has an alternate face once again. These are the spare parts. I always like getting this in some useful colors. You get an extra spoon in case the one that you're using breaks from, being really rough with your food. And you already had to discard one of the mice because it's an old one from the days when computer mice were white. And yeah, they wear out. This is the sticker sheet. Yep, quite a lot of stickers. Most of these I'd say are fully optional, but I do like some of the ones that add additional detail on the interior. Not so much the big ones, especially not a big one that you need to put on the inside of a panel. Come on, Leo. For a what age range set? No, don't do that. It's too tough. Again, this was $100 US. It is 100 euros, 90 pounds UK, or $130 Canadian. For 980 pieces, including this medium-sized boat hull, this small boat hull here, the medium-small animal, number of medium to large preformed rock pieces, some bigger plates. It's got some larger pieces in it. And I just look at what's here. I think about the build experience earlier today. And I think, you know what? This is not a bad deal at all. This is actually probably one of the better deals in higher end city and non-licensed sets in quite some time. I'm honestly surprised with what's here. I'm honestly surprised that in 2024 they did not charge $130 for this at least. Yeah, but I'm thinking about $130 would be what I would expect for today, and I wouldn't be happy with that, but it's what I would expect. So for this much stuff to be $100, and yes, it's full of open spaces, which have their value, but there are open spaces and there's no roof over this. So when you look at it from the front, maybe that's a little bit deceptive for what you actually get here, but this has enough density of detail in it through and through that it still feels good to me value-wise, and it feels right. This is the box down on the floor 7+ set. I keep having to remind myself because it kind of almost went together like a 6+ set, but it does have more detail. I'd say it has more detail, especially around the terrain here, or approximately the same as about an 8 to 9+. Yeah, about a 9+ set. The vehicles went together very, very simply and everything. So it's a nice balance, but it just feels like it's towards the upper end of the market in terms of sophistication, and definitely it's in a really good place value-wise. And play possibilities are pretty good. Is a prison the best thing to be giving to our kids in 2024? I don't know about that, but I'll leave that up to the parents to decide. But as a toy, as it is, I think you've got a pretty good thing here. If you like what you see, I think that you'll be happy with it. I think that whoever is going to receive it will be happy with it. The lowest point of the whole thing is just the helicopter. And that's mostly just my own personal bias and just being tired of seeing almost the same thing for years. But who cares? This is primarily being marketed not to folks like myself. Not to folks who've already had dozens of these in hand, maybe for kids that have one or maybe even two of them. It's kind of a different story. So yeah, overall, I'm pretty dang happy with this. Thank you very much for watching. I hope that you've enjoyed or at least gotten some good value out of this video. Be sure to follow me on Twitch for all of my live builds, which typically occur about 5 days a week. See you there. I'll talk to you soon.